Morning guys, so we're just at the charger at the moment over on one of these new Ionity ones, which is 160 kilowatt CCS, although it is only 50 kilowatt on CHAdeMO, so just shows you what's happening to the world of CHAdeMO lately. I thought I'd just give you all a bit of an update where we are with the car at present. So over in Germany, when we moved here, we knew we'd have to change the tyres, get the high-vis vests, breathalyzers, first aid kits and everything else you need to travel around Europe. And when we first arrived, we knew we'd have to go and have our lights tested. It's called a lit test over here, and basically it's to show that your lights are either flat beam or over to the verge. Bear in mind, driving on the right side of the road here, so that you're not obstructing any oncoming traffic. The Kona's lights though, like that, straight into traffic. So that laid up the first problem. So I looked into going to Hyundai in Claver and spoke to the people there, which took a little bit of negotiating with the language barrier. And we came to the point that I would need new headlights for the Kona. The Kona's lights could not be adjusted. So I asked them how much they were. They said, all including fin, I'm looking at €1,000, which hurt. That I thought was expensive. Then came the second problem. When can they get them? They don't know. Everything's on back order. Every lights are all going into cars. It could be months before I even get it. Now, I have tried to get the car to pass with the stickers on, which didn't work either, to try and reflect the lights back that way, but that didn't work. So it kind of left us in a bit of a sticky situation. So what's actually ended up happening is we are having to sell the Kona, which I am absolutely gutted about. The Kona fits our needs as a family absolutely perfectly. We have the boot, which is fine for one dog. The other dog goes on the back seat. She's old. She sits next to my little one, so there's no problems there at all. Now, what we're gonna have now is the situation with, we're not in the UK now. Fuel out here for diesel and petrol is way low. It is not expensive at all. And we get a fuel card, which gives us the tax off what they put on the fuel here anyway. So you can fill a car up over here quite comfortably for 40, 50 quid for a normal 60 litre tank. And that's where the problem is now. That is the position we're at. At 40 to 50 quid for 500 miles of diesel, say, I'm then in the other position where if we choose to stay electric and pick something else that's electric, I'm in Germany. So this Ionity one, the charger we're on at the moment, I believe, I'll have to check, but I believe it will roughly cost me around about £28 to get 260, 70 miles out of the car before I have to stop, obviously, to recharge it again. I don't want to run it right down. Although this charger is only around the corner from my house, there is only one charger here, and it's already broke twice since we've lived here in a month. So it's not really the most reliable. So that's for this one that's local. We then have the likes of Ionity. Now, there aren't any Ionities local to us, but when we've been traveling around on days out and things, we have seen Ionity chargers. But again, there still isn't an agreement, even though Hyundai is one of the partners of Ionity, like Ford, BMW, Daimler, Porsche, Volkswagen Group all together. They're all finding they're getting slightly reduced rates. Absolutely nothing for the Hyundai and Kia Group at all. Still nothing months and months after, and loads of messages back and forth to Hyundai to find out what's going on. So I then have to pay 79 cents per kilowatt hour to fill the car. That then gets to the position where that's going to cost me roughly around €30 to fill the Kona. Well, it's only going to, and that's for 250 miles. It's going to cost me between 40 and €50 to fill a diesel car for 500 miles. Well, we'll say 450. So it kind of leaves us in limbo. Even if we cross over the border, because we are very close to the Dutch border, it's about 5-6 miles away. There is a Fastned charger just literally the other side, and that will cost me 59 cents. So a little bit cheaper than Ionity, but it's still going to cost me €25 to fill the car. So we're now trying to work out what we're going to do, whether we are going to go and have a petrol or diesel car that's left-hand drive whilst we're over here for the next 3 years, or whether I'm going to come back to the UK, because I'm going to have to bring the Kona back to the UK, because I should imagine it's going to be really difficult to sell it over here, so it will go back to the UK to be sold. And then, yeah, do I pick up another right-hand drive car that seems to be a German right-hand drive car, like your Volkswagens, your BMWs and your Mercedes? So far we're finding out have a switch on the back of the headlights. There's also some other clever cars out there, like the new Ford S-Max. You actually have a feature on the in-car entertainment system to swap whether you're driving left-hand drive roads or right-hand drive roads. So that's kind of the problem we're at the moment. I'm trying to work out now what's the best thing to do, whether it's to get a diesel, but I really, mind you, it makes no odds for me because I can't really charge the Kona at home. So like, I've got to go out to get some fuel anyway. But I'm not sure whether or not our next car will be an electric car, which is absolutely gutting after driving electric cars now since 2014. The first one was on a 64 plate, was a Renault Zoe. I can put a picture in here for you. You guys can get to see what the first car was ever like. And then after that, we obviously had the Nissan Leaf, a used one, but that was a very good car. That's still in the family. My mum drives that now. And then now onto the Kona, and it just seems like the infrastructure out here in Holland, don't get me wrong, it's amazing. Like, you can pretty much pull over at any service station in Holland and charge, not a problem. The Fastneds, they're like massive SO garages, they're like massive canopies on them, see them a mile off. And they've even got them marked on the service signs like the electric highway do in the UK. So in that regards, like, the infrastructure in Holland's there, and we're so close to Holland. It's just so expensive. I don't mind paying for charging, don't get me wrong, but like, when you kind of get in towards diesel prices, especially with Ionity, it just seems a bit counterproductive to stay electric and then go and buy, well, you're paying pretty much more for electric out here using Ionity or Fastned than you are for diesel. And that's where we're at now. That is like the nuts and bolts of it. That's kind of, we didn't get into electric cars for the environmental reasons at all. Don't get me wrong, when you've got an electric car, you start thinking about solar panels, your heating, and our home in the UK, we went whole hog. We put in a log burner, put in so that the gas bills were low. We put in solar panels to heat the water and to charge the car up during the day, because I was on split shifts, so I always had like 4 hours in the middle of the day before I went back out again. which at the time, with a 7 kilowatt charger and I had a 22 kilowatt hour Zoe, I was fully charged again, ready to go. It was like, fill it up on sunlight. So it all made sense back then. But it's like, that was 6 years ago, and things just don't seem to have moved. Like, now these big manufacturers are starting their own charging networks up. We're seeming to get longer and quicker chargers, which is fantastic, but it's almost like the likes of Ionity are trying to slow down the progression to electric cars by putting the prices so high. It's like 79 cents, 69 pence in the UK. And that's like, if you're charging at home, in the UK we were paying, we used to regularly charge. We had a charger fitted Pod Point 1, which I brought out here actually, because I thought I'd maybe be able to fit it to the house out here, but there's just no way in hell that I can even get onto the garden without doing some very drastic things like take down a fence. So yeah, sadly that's where we're at. We're now on the car hunt. So the Kona will be coming back to the UK, I should imagine, before the end of March to get sold, and we will now look for a alternative. If anyone's got any ideas, then do feel free to chirp up, but I don't know whether there's many European country people that subscribe, but if there is, how do you guys find it? Because at the moment we're finding it very dear for electric, and because we can't charge at home either, it's almost like having an electric car's become a luxury again, but only if you've got a driveway or access to a charger outdoor. Even the there's plenty of Type 2 posts around here, but I'm none are near my house, and I'm not going to go and sit there for the best part of 8-9 hours to charge the car. So it's kind of where we are now. We're kind of just looking about, trying to find out what we're going to do, whether it's going to be petrol, whether it's going to be diesel. It'll definitely be an automatic, because I haven't driven anything else for the last 8-9 years now, so it'll definitely be an auto. So we know that much. We've narrowed the search down. How it's powered, honestly, at the moment we have no idea. So it's a bit of a gutting thing to be talking about, really, because obviously I'm here trying to promote electric cars and that, but I want to give a real life experience of what it's like. It's not always song and dance about it. Sometimes, or now, we've got a massive problem where our car can't be registered here because of the lights. The lights can be bought, but we don't know when they'll turn up, and I can only keep the car in the country so long without having the car registered, like you can for a holiday. So we arrived January, so I'd probably be able to keep the car here for the 3 months you kind of get on your UK green cards. So yeah, if anyone's got any pointers or tips for me, do feel free to drop them in the comments below, because at the moment we're yeah, it might be the end of the electric car for us for possibly the next 3 years until we go back to the UK, because there's no driveway here, so there's not a great deal of point in trying to force the issue. But yeah, so it's a bit of a sad one, this video, but it is an update. So if you guys have liked it, not that there's much to like about the fact I might not be driving an electric car, but do feel free to like, share and subscribe. And believe me, any pointers anyone's got for driving around EU, do feel free to drop them in the comments below, because at the moment the networks out here, you've got ARGH, Ionity and Fastned that are close to us, And for us to fill this car, every one of them would be dearer than having a diesel car, basically.